Hello, 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 and welcome to another live ukulele jam with me, Matt Stead. I hope you're all keeping well and staying warm wherever you are in the world. We're going to have loads and loads of fun today. We're going to be doing some songs by some fantastic artists. Actually, we're going to do a beautiful Nick Drake song, which I'm really excited about. We've got a bit of classic Bob Dylan. We've got a Velvet Underground, an unusual one, but such a beautiful song. All sorts of bits and bobs today. And we've even got a bit of Rolling Stones. We're going to do a bit of Paint It Black at the end. So we're going to have loads and loads of fun today with our Kanikapila. So I hope you're all doing well and you're not watching the news and getting all depressed about it, or the opposite. Let's have fun and forget all about world events at the moment and just have a real joyous time together in our little community. So let's have a look. So all cold and raining in Portugal, cold in Colorado. It sounds like it's freezing where everyone is. So yeah, only 40 days until the cruise. Whoop whoop. That's exciting, Harry. I cannot wait. It's going to be wonderful. I've already started dreaming of flamingos and butterflies, which is great. Yeah, everyone is frozen today. Everyone, absolutely everyone. Maybe not David. I bet it's warm in Florida, isn't it, David? Hopefully. Okay, so let's just tell you about a couple of things just before we get started. First of all, to let you know a couple of things that are coming up. We've got a new Beatles lesson, if anyone's interested. I've done a finger-style chord melody version of Yesterday by the Beatles, and this is next in our Beatles course. I'm really excited about this one. I spent a lot of time on the arrangement, making it as nice as possible and also quite accessible with lots of 3-finger chords as we go up the fretboard. So do check that out. It's available to all my gold members on my website. You can enroll on the Beatles course at no extra cost if you're a member. And I'll be doing these every couple of weeks. So I'll have another new Beatles lesson soon as well, which is super, super exciting. Also, we're in the week where we have one of my live lessons as well. So everyone seemed to really enjoy the fiddle tune that we did 2 weeks ago. So I decided to do another one. We're going to have a look at the piece Red Haired Boy. It's quite a fast fiddle tune, but we're going to look at a slightly more sparse chord melody version that I've arranged. Something really, really sweet. So that's really cool. Oh, I didn't know that. Wow. Shell said, this is like when you get those football stats coming up. This is our 100th Kanikapila. I had no idea. We should have done a party or something, shouldn't we? But thanks, Shell. That's really good to know. I didn't know that. That's amazing. Well, thank you for supporting me and helping me get through to 100, everyone. It really means a lot. So I think that those are the main things. Let's bring the sheets on and we'll have a look at what we've got tonight and I'll explain how it all works. You probably all know by now, but it's worth just mentioning it again. So, and Karen came up with a lovely idea, which I think is brilliant, that we're going to put the key signature at the top. So you'll notice a change to the sheets now, just in case you're confused which key we're in. We're going to put it at the top now, which is really cool. Hi, Steve. So this one's in the key of D major. What we do is we number all of the chords. We call them Nashville numbers because it all goes back to Nashville and the Grand Ole Opry when bands would get up on stage and the singer, rather than having to explain all the chords, would say, for instance, this is a 1-4-5 progression in the key of C, and then musicians would know that they're going to play the chords C, F and G because that's 1-4-5 in the key of G. We don't often play in D because it has some sharps and flats, which makes it harder to sight read if you're reading notes and stuff. Plus the chords can be a little bit awkward. Thankfully, the most common chords in the key of D are relatively simple to do on a ukulele. And this song, even though it's so complex sounding, it's actually really easy to do, which I think you'll like. So in the key of D, D is 1. Then we have E, F sharp, G, A, B C sharp, and then we're back to D again. So we number all of those chords. The first, the fourth and the fifth chords are major chords. Second, third and sixth chords are minor chords. And then the fifth is quite often a dominant. That just means like a seventh, like we've got here. So the way this works is this one, we have two chords with very strict chord personalities. Oh, just going to bring a couple of other people on. So yeah, thank you. Thanks, Lisa. And thanks to Barbara. Barbara stepped in to help us this week. So Barbara's joined the Kanikapila team. So welcome, Barbara. So she had a big hand in the sheets this week as well. So couldn't do it without the team. Those guys are all amazing. Esther, Karen, Barbara and Indrani. So thanks for all your help, guys. So we've got the 1 chord and the 4 chord. The 1 chord is all about resolution and strength and kind of just feeling like we're at home, basically. So in this case, we've got a form of D chord. Then we've got the 4 chord, D, E, F sharp, G, and that's about change, isn't it? We often refer to that as the change chord. It creates a sense of change without anything too drastic. And loads of folk songs, this one being no exception, go between the 1 and 4 chord in a verse, which is exactly what we've got. This one's by Nick Drake. It's a beautiful song on his 1972 album Pink Moon. He only released 3 albums in his lifetime. There's some really lovely fascinating facts about it in the back that Karen has done. He only released 3 albums, and this was from his last album, Pink Moon. Sadly, he didn't get the recognition he deserved in his lifetime, partly because he was so nervous about playing on stage. He'd turn his back to the audience and tune for ages and things like that. But luckily, in more recent years, sadly, since he's passed away, his music gets recognition it deserves. And this is a beautiful one from Pink Moon. So let's have a look at the chords. Now the chords are really beautiful in this one. We've got a D add G. I'm going to explain what that is in just a second. But to do it, it's really simple. You just put your first two fingers on the middle 2 strings, C and E, at the 2nd fret. Okay, so middle 2 strings, 2nd fret, like so, which is really beautiful. Now, this chord, the reason it's so gorgeous, Nick Drake used to use all sorts of interesting tunings, so you end up with these really exotic sounding chords. A D add G just means that we've taken the A note, which is up here, from the D chord, and we've changed it to a G. What makes it sound really exotic is that there are 2 notes that clash in this chord, G and this one here, F sharp. They're only half a step away. And when I play them like that, they sound okay. But when I play them at the same time, notice it's quite dissonant. Our ears don't like 2 notes that are half a step away. But because they're kind of hidden within the chord with 2 other notes, when you play them together, you get this lovely mystical sounding chord, which is really gorgeous. So that's your D add 9. Then we just swap to a G, and the easiest way to do that is just to drop this finger down and add this one here. Okay, so it's a really nice change from D add G, the 1 chord, to G, the 4 chord, and basically that's almost the entire song is just that change. Okay. Now we're going to do kind of quite a fast strum on this one, but quite gentle. Now if you struggle with this strum pattern, you can simplify it just by doing some simple down strums, even just on the beat down strums, or you can strum up and down. Just as long as you're playing in time with us, you'll be fine. But the strum pattern that I'm going to do is this. Walk, running, 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 running. It's quite quick. Walk, running, 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 running. So I'm basically just going down and then just all down ups quickly. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up, down, up. Okay. When I put that together with the chords, you'll hear how it sounds. Here we go. So we get that really nice kind of flowing sound. As I say, you could just go up and down, just straight. That would be fine as well. There's no real swing to this one. It's not a real swing feel. It's quite straightforward, which is really, really lovely. So that's the verses. With the lyrics, that will sound something like this, just so you can see how it works. If I come in and close cam. Okay, here we go. The day once dawns, and it was beautiful. The day once dawned. Then we have two really interesting chords, I think. We've got the 5 chord, D, E, F sharp, G, A. If you can remember some of these 1 and 5 chords in any key, that will get you really, really far with using Nashville numbers and playing by ears, because they're the 2 most common chords. So in the key of D, A is our 5 chord. And we're going to play it as a dominant 7th. That just means it has a 7 after the letter. So A7 rather than just a plain old A. Now your normal A7, which we're going to play in a second, looks like this, doesn't it? So first finger, 1st fret, 2nd string down. Okay. But notice we start the measure before that. We have an A7 sus4. There's a subtle difference. If I really highlight the C string, we get this tension and release, the tension of this D note going down to the C sharp note. Why is it called an A7 sus4? Well, we've taken an A7, we've taken the 3rd note in the key of A, B, C sharp, and instead of playing that 3rd note, we're playing the 4th note D. That's all it is, a sus4 chord. So we've just taken the 3rd up to a 4th. That's literally all it is. And even if you don't worry about the theory, just know it's really easy peasy lemon squeezy to play. Just use your 1st finger. The reason I'm using my 1st finger rather than my 2nd and moving back like this is that we're coming from this D chord into the G chord, and then I can just leave this finger on and pull it back. Okay, let's try, yeah, it's a gorgeous sound chord, isn't it? All of these actually, the A7 sus4 and that lovely D add G, really, really nice, aren't they? Let's try a verse with all of those in then. I'll come in and close cameras for practice. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. The day once dawned, and it was beautiful. The day once dawned from the ground. And that's it, basically. Try another one. Then the night she fell. Experiment with your strum patterns. The air was beautiful. The night she fell all around. Yeah, you got it. Really nice, guys. Absolutely fantastic. So if you want to have a go at we haven't really got enough space in this piece to do a full solo. But what we can do is in the little instrumental sections, which happen, we're going to call them interludes, after each 3rd verse. It's just that D to G bit. You can do a little lick if you want. What's a lick? A lick is almost like a mini solo or a mini riff. You know, when you just hit a few notes just to kind of add something special in the moment, just to kind of add something different. We call that a lick. We're in the key of D, so we're going to use the D major pentatonic. So that's this one here, where we're going from the 2nd fret of the C string to the 4th fret. I'm going to use my ring finger for that. The 2nd fret of the E string to the 5th fret, and the 2nd fret of the A string to the 5th fret. That's D, E, F sharp, G, B, and then the high D. Karen's just saying her low G really booms in this. That's cool that you've brought that up, actually, Karen, because there's a bit of something you can do for that. It does. I think this one sounds better in re-entrant just because you have that lovely G and F sharp note so close to each other. But what you can do, as you're coming down for your strums, let me just move this over just a bit. As you come down for the strums, you know how we usually keep the uke really straight like this? If you just either tip it slightly or just angle your hand, you can pass over that low G without hitting it so much. If your uke's quite like this, you're going to really bang it a lot. But if you put it this way, you can pass over it a bit more smoothly, that's often what I do when I'm playing in low G. I find it helps. So if anyone else is having that problem, have a little try of that, see if it helps a little bit. So what you can do is just put a few notes from this little scale pattern together, and it will just give you sort of a lick. I'll play some music in the background, you'll see what I mean. Oh, hang on, I need to come on close camera because you can't see what I'm doing otherwise. There we go. It was very short, just very short little licks. You don't have time for a lot, just a few notes. Just have a little experiment. It's a lovely, lovely thing to do. If I just play D add G to G, and then you can have a little experiment if you want. Give it a try. 1, 2, 3, 4. Hit those notes in any order. Try adding a bit of rhythm to it. And this is all we're going to do just after every third verse, just to add a little bit of something, which is really, really nice. If you don't want to solo or do a little lick on that, just hit the D and G chords with me and you'll be absolutely fine. I think we're pretty much ready to have a go at this one. I think that's everything we need to know, which is fantastic. Indrani was just asking which uke I'm playing today. So today I've got my Pat McGowan uke. Made by Pat McGowan in the States. It's a tenor, but it's quite a small body tenor with a 12 fret join, so it joins the neck a little bit higher up than some ukes, which puts the bridge right in the sweet spot. And it's got this nice kind of bear claw spruce. I can't remember what the back and sides are. I'm not entirely sure. But yeah, I love Pat's ukes. They're so resonant, and this one's got a lovely brightness to it, which I like. Okay, should we give it a go, guys? I'll stay here rather than on close camera, I think, for this. Let me just tip the screen down a bit so you can see a little bit better what I'm doing. Yeah, there we go. Okay, let's give it a try. I'll just bring up my lyrics. And we're good to go. So we're going to do an intro of D to G a couple of times just to get us going. 1, 2, 3, 4. A day once dawns, and it was beautiful. A day once dawned from the ground, and the night she fell. The air was beautiful. The night she fell all around. So look, see the days, the endless coloured ways. Go play that you loved from the morning. Try one of those little licks. And now we rise, and we are everywhere. And now we rise from the ground, and see she flies, and she is everywhere. See she flies all around. So look, see the lights, the endless summer nights, and go play the game that you loved from the morning. Little outro. Try lick if you like. Lovely. Well done, everyone. So that's yeah, really interesting song. That I really love that D add 9. So have a little experiment with that. If you're playing a song where the D is acting as the 1 chord, not the 5 chord. If you're playing in the key of G, you probably want a full D or D7. But if you're in the key of D and you have that 1 chord, why not try adding that lovely extra G note? Sounds really glorious, doesn't it? So, yeah, fantastic song. As I say, that one's from Pink Moon, if you're interested, which was Nick Drake's 3rd album, which is a really fantastic album. His first 2 albums, he has a lot of strings. Joe Boyd, the guy who worked quite a lot with Fairport Convention and lots of other bands, he did the strings on the first 2 albums, and on the last album it's very stripped back. It's mostly just Nick with an acoustic guitar, tuned in various ways with some lovely finger picking. So it's a gorgeous record to listen to. I got it on vinyl for Christmas. I already had it on CD, but I got it on vinyl off Sharon, so we've been listening to it lots recently, which is really nice. Oh, thanks, Karen. Yeah, it's quite a sweet rosette, isn't it? Abalone shell, that one, which is really pretty. Yeah, I don't normally go in for a lot of bling on my ukes, but I kind of like this. It's kind of shiny, which is all good. Oh, thanks, guys. Thank you. Yeah, sweet chords. That A7 sus4 is nice, isn't it? It's quite clever, that, because it kind of it feels like you're resolving to the A7, which is interesting because the A7 acting as the 5 chord creates tension, so you're resolving to a chord that creates tension, which is kind of quite interesting. It's a bit like a musical trick, if you like. Isn't that a lovely photo that Indrani took as well of Lapine? Is that right? In Oregon. Really gorgeous, isn't it? Okay, so let's have a look at our next song. So this is from a very different band altogether. Oh yeah, definitely Beach. I echo that 100%. Yeah, gorgeous. So this next one's from a band called the Velvet Underground. Many of you will know them. They weren't massively known during their time, but they've gone on to become one of the most influential bands, particularly in indie music. And interestingly, one of the chords that they use in this song went on to be used in a lot of indie music. I'll talk you through that in just a minute. So obviously everyone knows Lou Reed, who was the main singer and songwriter, but you also had John Cale on viola and all sorts of instruments, in fact, and Mo on drums, who's just like absolutely amazing. So really great band. And this is from their first album, which is The Velvet Underground with Nico, and this is where they were working with Andy Warhol. So this is the one with that iconic cover with the banana on. Originally, it was a peel-off banana, wasn't it? And it had a pink one underneath, which was a little bit risque back in the day. But great album. Really quite intense at times, but this one's really interesting. Lou Reed often wrote what I would refer to as like gentle love songs. This one's a kind of an interesting subject matter. You can read about it in the Fascinating Facts. But he often wrote some quite melancholic, simple, beautiful songs. And if you like this one, check out their third album, which was an eponymous album with a black cover just called The Velvet Underground. And I sometimes think of that third album as Lou Reed love songs. It's got some gorgeous songs like Candy Says, Pale Blue Eyes, really, really beautiful. So they weren't always like crazy loud and, you know, punky and mad and stuff. They released some beautiful songs. And this one has Lou Reed basically pretending to sing like Nico on it, which makes it even more gentle and lovely, which is great. So this one we're in the key of G. You can see at the top there, key of G major has one sharp in it, and it's the F sharp. Interestingly, we don't use an F sharp, but I'm going to talk about that in a sec. What I did want you to note right from the off is have a look at that verse. We've got the 1 and the 4 chord again, right? In fact, if I flip back to the Nick Drake song, look at that. We've basically got 1 to 4, 1 to 4. Flip back to this one. What have we got? 1 to 4, 1 to 4. So it's a really common thing to do in any song, going from the 1 chord to the 4 chord, because the 1, sorry, just moving this and resizing it a bit. There we go. Because the 1 chord makes you feel settled, sets you off on a journey. We have that resolution. And the 4 chord just creates a sense of change, which is perfect. So this one we're changing from a G chord. And we're just changing that down to a C chord here. Like so. Notice my little trick there. I'm actually keeping my second finger down as I change from G to C. I can use it as a kind of pivot, which keeps things nice and smooth. And similarly, notice when I was in the Nick Drake song, I tried to keep this finger where it was. So if you can keep a finger where it is as you change chords, in this case, this second finger, it makes it really smooth, which is really great. So we've got G to C. And that's your intro and outro. And the first bit of the verse. Now for this one, I'm doing a really simple down, down, up, down, down, up. Up, down, up. Loads of you will know that as the calypso strum, because the calypso beat is okay. It's used in a lot of folk music as well. Down, down, up, down, up, down, up. Remember, I like to think about things phonetically, so I like to think about that as walk, running, and running. Walk, running, and running. Have a little practice that whilst we're doing the next bit. So that's your strum pattern, really, really dead simple for this one. And the start of the verse, as I say, is still that G to C. 4 on each, because we're in common time. Then we've got one of the most classic chord combinations of all time, a 1-6-2-5. This all came out of George Gershwin's I Got Rhythm, I Got Music. It was a real classic chord combination used in a lot of jazz songs. It's used in Heart and Soul and all sorts of jazz songs as well. The 1 chord to the 6 chord works beautifully because there's only 1 note change. If I do it like that, it looks like a really different chord, but notice the only note that's changing is this D note here. When you go to E minor, is becoming an E. D, E, That's the only difference between two chords. So that's why G to E minor sounds really smooth and works beautifully. Okay. And if you want, remember my trick. Rather than rearranging all your fingers to E minor like this, if you want to, you can just add your pinky onto the 4th fret of the C string. So G, A minor, E minor even. Then we go to the 2 chord, which is an A7. Just drag this first finger back. And a 2 chord always wants to resolve to a 5 chord. And that's what we have next. The 5 chord is a D. Okay. So we've got G being the 1 chord, G, A, B, C, D. E minor being the 6 chord, G, A7 being the 2 chord, G, A, B, C, D being the 5 chord, 1, 6, 2, 5, classic jazz combination. And again, even though Velvet Underground are associated with like loads of feedback and crazy songs, a lot of Lou Reed's gentle songs are real classic jazz chords, and that's about as classic as you can get, a 1, 6, 2, 5. So a verse will sound like this. I'll give a run through so you can kind of hear how it sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sunday morning brings the dawn in. It's just a restless feeling by my side. Then we go again. Early dawning, Sunday morning. It's just the wasted just so close behind. Isn't that lovely? It's just so relaxed and nice, which is great. Yay, well done. Happy birthday to you. Can I remember the happy birthday chords? I'm not sure. Let's try it. Happy birthday to where is it? Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, dear Anna. Happy birthday to you. Happy birthday, Anna. Couldn't remember the chords to the most famous song of all time. But there you go. Happy birthday. I hope you're having a wonderful one. So isn't that lovely? That verse is great. Really kind of classic jazz chords. Let's have a look at the chorus. Again, really, really simple stuff here. We've got the 1/4 chord twice, exactly the same as we had in the verse, which will look something like this. G to C, and again. Then we have the 2 chord being played as a minor chord. So rather than being A7, this time it's a minor, which gives it a real sense of melancholy. Then we have the flatted 7th chord, this F. Why do we call that the flatted 7? Again, if you're not into the theory, don't sweat it, as long as you know how to play it. That's the most important thing, right? You've got loads of happy birthdays coming, by the way, Anna. So happy birthday. I hope you have a wonderful day. Have you got a new ukulele on the way? So the reason that F is called a flatted 7 chord, well, every key has a certain amount of sharps and flats. C major has no sharps or flats. F has 1 flat, it's a B flat. G has 1 sharp, it's the F sharp. So the 7th note in a key of G should be F sharp. G, A, B, C, D, E, F. But what musicians have realised for years is if you flatten that instead of playing an F sharp, you get an F. It leads on really lovely from the 2 chords, because just like that G to the E minor, there's only 1 note difference between the A minor and the F. It also gives it a slightly gritty bluesy feel. It's used a lot in the blues, and it comes from something called the Mixolydian mode if you want to get really nerdy about it. Well done, Rebecca. Yeah, that's cool. That's cool. So we've got this A minor being followed by the flatted 7th chord, because it's not an F sharp, it's an F. And then, as you would expect, the 5 chord at the end. which creates tension and it makes you want to go back to the start, because a 5 chord always wants to resolve to a 1 chord without exception. All right, so let's have a go at a chorus so you can see how it looks and sounds. 1, 2, 3, 4. Watch out, the world's behind you. There's always someone around you who will call. It's nothing at all. Isn't that lovely? And then you're back to the G. Carolina, I'm not sure what an R9 is. Should that be a D9 or a G9? I wasn't sure if that's a typo. So really lovely F9, an F9. I would keep it as a straight F. Let me try an F9. Let me just see. Sometimes you just got to try it. No, it's going to sound a little bit too jazzy, I think, Karen. I would stick to just normal F on that one. Yeah, just stick to an F major for that one. So that's a whole piece, basically. Notice that those verses we play through the chords twice. The chorus we just play through once as is written. And for this one, we've got an instrumental after the second chorus. If you look on your next sheets, it will look like this. Ta-da! We've got an instrumental after that second chorus just up here. And for the instrumental, we're just going to play the verse chords again. Now, if you want to solo over this one, because we're in the key of G, you can use, you've guessed it, the G pentatonic, otherwise known as the G major pentatonic scale. Let me just flip to the right page. It will be around here. Yeah, there we go. So this one you can do in a few places, but to get that classic kind of shape, I'll tip so you can see my dots. We're going to go right up to the 7th fret of the C string, to the 9th, 7th to 10th, 7th to 10th. And as I always say, Dran is right, that's the My Girl riff, isn't it? I got sunshine. So that's your G major. And if you want, you can combine it with its relative minor, which is E minor. Has all the same notes in a different order. This one, we're going to start from 4th fret C string, up to the 7th. Then we go 5th, 7th, 5th, 7th. So you can combine this together. We've got G up here, and we've got E minor here. And if you combine them together, you could get a really nice solo going on this one. Let me see if I can find a backing track on this one. If you don't want to solo, just strum along with me. And you can just do a verse strummed, and that'll be absolutely fine. But if you want to have a go, something quite melancholic, I think, on this one. So just have a little play around with those two shapes. See if you can come up with a little solo. Again, I think what we'll do, we haven't done a lot of this recently. Let me just play through the chords for you. And then you can have a little practice of that if you want to. If not, just strum the chords with me and that'll be absolutely fine. So I'm going to strum the chords to the verse. You guys have a go at using these notes to solo. 1, 2, 3, 4. We're going to play those chords twice. And there is where you come back in for another chorus. It's fun, isn't it? I love doing little solos because I think it just brings songs to life. And if you think about it, when you see your favourite bands play, it's very rare you'll get a song all the way through without any kind of instrumental. Just really gives a nice break to the song, doesn't it? Which is great. So have a little go. And as I say, if you're not that confident, you can just strum along with me. That'll be absolutely fine. Right, I'm going to tip down again so you can see my uke a bit better. Yeah, there we go. Let's give it a go then from the top. So 1967, this one's from Velvet Underground and Nico, if you're interested. And remember, we're just going to do that straightforward calypso strum. Oh yeah, Barbara's Travis picking this one. Nice. Where you kind of... Yeah, that's a really nice melancholic feel to it, isn't it, Barbara? Well done. Nice, nice. Okay, let's try it from the top then, from the intro. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4. Sunday morning brings the dawn in. It's just a restless feeling by my side. Early dawning, Sunday morning. It's just the wasted years so close behind. Here's that chorus. Watch out, the world's behind you. There's always someone around you who will call. It's nothing at all. Another verse. Sunday morning, and I'm falling. I've got a feeling that I don't want to know. Early dawning, Sunday morning. It's all the streets you crossed not so long ago. Chorus. Watch out, the world's behind you. There's always someone around you who will call. It's nothing at all. Try a solo, guys. Keep that solo going. Another set of verse chords. Fantastic. Back in for a chorus. Watch out, the world's around you. There's always someone around you who will call. It's nothing at all. And just the outro chords. Sunday morning, Sunday morning, Sunday morning. Lovely. Well done, everyone. Absolutely brilliant. It's a lovely laid back song, that, isn't it? It's just got a real kind of gentleness to it, which I love. And I love that kind of that almost indie thing where you end up with quite gentle, beautiful, lush sounding chords, and then the lyrics are slightly dark if you kind of read into it, but it's kind of that juxtaposition which makes it really sweet and interesting, I think. So yeah, really, really nice one there. So just before we do our next one, which we can look at a lovely Bob Dylan track, just let me remind you again about a couple of things we've got going on. I forgot to bring a picture to show you, but if anyone's interested, if you check out my Facebook page, which is Uke Students Hangout or Learn Ukulele with Matt, that's where we have our challenges. And in fact, there's a challenge at the moment all based on songs about new. You could do New Morning. So every few weeks we have a challenge, and I set you a challenge, and then everyone records videos of themselves playing various songs. It's all really supportive and it's not competitive. It's all about just having loads of fun and getting out there and testing yourself. And this time we're doing songs about new. I think technically it might have ended this Monday, but I haven't got round to judging. So if anyone still wants to have an entry, have a go. I think that would be really, really great. But on that Facebook page, you'll see I've just announced a new event that's happening this summer. Now, it's not my event. It's run by a lovely guy called Matt from the Awesome Ukulele Academy. He's a really, really nice guy. And oh, let me know if you did any solos on that song, by the way. And what we're going to do is we're going to have a Spanish ukulele adventure. I'm really excited about it. So we're going to go to a beautiful Spanish town called Gaucin. I hope I'm pronouncing that right. Gaucin, which is near Gibraltar, on the southern tip of Spain. And it's this beautiful village with a gorgeous castle up on the cliffs. And you can even see Africa from there. It's quite amazing. And we're going to have 3 days of quite intensive teaching, but also with loads of fun breakouts, jams. There's going to be an open mic session. So if you're interested, check out the Facebook page. Any kind of queries, get in touch with Matt himself, not me, Matt, the other Matt P. And he'll be able to answer any questions. There's a gorgeous hotel there with a pool. Really nice village to walk around, and it's going to be in May. It's going to be warm. It's going to be absolutely lovely. So come and join us on our Spanish adventure. I'm really excited about it. And of course, if you can't wait till then, it might be a bit too late now. Harry will tell me, but we've got the cruise happening obviously at the end of February, start of March, which I'm crazy excited about. And it looks like I'm coming back next year for another cruise, which I'm really, really excited about as well. So loads going on. In terms of the online stuff, as I mentioned at the start, don't forget we've got our new Beatles lesson, which is available on the website, where there's a gorgeous fingerstyle arrangement of Yesterday. I spent a lot of time getting this one sounding really, really nice. So that's on the website, and we'll have another Beatles lesson very soon. Just go to mattsteadukulele.com and click on the Learn tab. And don't forget, this Wednesday we've got our next live lesson, which is on the 22nd of January 2025. So that's this Wednesday coming at 3:30. And we're going to have a look at another old-time fiddle tune, Red-Haired Boy, which sounds great on the ukulele. And I'm going to show you a really cool chord melody version. Yay, cruise! It's very, very exciting. Yay! Yeah, it's gonna be great. It's gonna be great. What was I saying? Oh yeah. So check that out this Wednesday if you're interested. If you can't make it, it's at the wrong time of day. You can watch them back at any time. So they're all archived on my website under the live lessons tab. You'll see all the Kanikapilas archived and the fortnightly live lessons. And if you're a member of my website, which most of you are, you get the full song arrangement all tabbed out for you as well. So that's the exciting thing happening. If anyone's feeling super generous and you want to send me a tip to help with the running costs tonight, in the comments and description you'll find a link to my PayPal site where you can send me a virtual tip in my jar. Thank you very much. The best way to support me is either that, which is super, super kind, or just joining as a member of my site. That's the way to keep me really sustainable and help me keep doing all these lovely things for you. Oh yeah, there we go. Cruise 2025 is sold out, but as I would say, and I'm sure Harry would agree, all the more reason to come next year, right? So if you didn't make it this year, come next year, and if you did make it this year, come next year as well, because we're going to have a fantastic time. So yeah, I think that's everything. Let's get on with our next song then. So we're going to do another Bob Dylan track. We've done quite a lot of Bob Dylan recently. I think his songs just work really well for Kanikapila, because even this one that looks really complex, it kind of makes sense when you analyse it, and it's really, really nice. And yeah, don't forget the skinny kids. All your donations help stop my kids being all skinny and malnourished. I'm only joking. So this is a lovely song. This is actually one of my favourite Bob Dylan songs of all time. And it's from his album, New Morning. Excuse me, I suddenly got all dry. So New Morning was his 1970 album. This one came after Self Portrait, where he had a lot of covers and really weird songs on it. I actually really like Self Portrait, but it got critically panned. And a lot of people saw this as his comeback album, and it's really underrated. The songs are absolutely beautiful, really laid back. And it has, as well as this one, it has If Not For You, which was covered by George Harrison. You know, If Not For You. Really, really beautiful song. So do look up New Morning if you haven't already. So, yeah. Oh, thanks, Beach. Yeah, behind me I've got my awards for the Ukes. So thanks for everyone that voted for me. We won the Big Ukulele Festival of the Year, and I got a special recognition award for all my work. So thanks, guys. I really, really appreciate that. Thanks to Anarchy in the UK for their support as well. It meant a lot to me getting that special recognition one. So thank you. Much, much appreciated. They look cool up there, don't they? I might put my ones from last year up there as well. Make it look even better. Okay, so this one we're in the key of C. So really nice key because there's no sharps and flats, and all the chords are really, really nice. So this one we have yet again, hopefully you're seeing a pattern tonight, the 1 and the 4 chord. The 1 chord being C in the key of C, makes sense. The 4 chord being F, C, D, E, F. So remember the 1 chord. Oh, thanks, Karen. Really, really appreciate it. Thank you. Charlene, the 2026 cruise. We're looking at a few options. I think Antigua was one of them. Harry and Donna will be able to let you know for sure. But I think Donna's working really hard on it at the moment, and we'll announce that when we know for sure. But I think it'll be a slightly different, some different islands next time. But yeah, going to be really cool though. So, the 1 and 4 chords, C and F, dead easy, you know C, you know F, right? Down here. Now, this one we're going to do a bit of a pulse strum for the C to F. Now, if you want to... Oh, Harris said too early to leak out. Fair enough, we'll keep it secret for now. If you want to pulse this one, what you can do is just strum down strums. 1, 2, 3, 4 on each chord, then F, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Like so, right? Now, what you can do if you really want to pulse it, and you don't have to, but what you can do is you can strum up the C chord and then just mute it afterwards by touching any of the strings like this. Don't push down, because otherwise you'll get a weird jazz chord like that. Just dampen the strings to deaden them. And then you get this. Takes a lot of practice. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. But notice you get that pulse. You could do the same thing on the F by using these fingers. Sometimes I accidentally get a click off my wedding ring. Hear that? But you can do the same thing, just muting. And that gives this lovely pulse feel. So you get this, let me just bring up the lyrics. And I'll stay on play camera magic. See how it bounces. Can't you hear that rooster crowing? If you find that tough, just do down strums. Don't worry about the pulse. Can't you hear that rooster crowing? Like that is absolutely fine. Then we go to this next section, which is really lovely. We've got the 1 chord, which you would expect, setting you off on your journey. Rabbit running, then an E minor. Down the road. That has a sadness to it. The 3 chord in any key is often called the heartbreak chord. It kind of has a sadness to it, and it makes sense because this bit's a little bit melancholic. Now, changing from C, you can get this finger down at any point and then pivot on it to E minor, because otherwise that's quite a difficult change, isn't it? But if you start with this one or this one and just pivot on that one, you go to E minor. So rabbit running down across the road. Then we do another one chord, see? Underneath the bridge, A minor, just one finger, where the water flowed. And then the 4 chord, just drop this finger down for the F for you. Notice how often that A minor is followed by an F chord, because they're only one note different. So again, that smooth changes, which is really, really lovely. All right, so let's just do one verse so you can get an idea. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can't you hear that rooster crowing? And then just run these next chords. Rabbit running down across the roads, underneath the bridge where the water flowed on through. Okay, so notice when I go to the second line, the C, E minor, C, I just run those chords, just strum up and down. 1 and 2 and 3 and 4, 1 and 2 and 3 and 4. Really simple. And it creates a nice juxtaposition within the song. One of the things that drives me mad sometimes with songs, and I'm guilty of this as much as anyone else, so it's not like a criticism of any other teachers or any of you guys, but sometimes we can think of a song and we can think of what's the strum pattern, and we obsess about what's the pattern. But a really nice thing to do is to vary that pattern up within the song, because it creates nice dynamics. I talk about this a lot on the intermediate course, because I think it's really important when you're just lifting, you're playing off that plateau. And you see it here from that change. When we then start running those chords, strumming fully, it creates a change in the dynamics, which is really, really beautiful. All right, so we're only really going to do the pushed or muted chords on the C to F bit here, or in the chorus, wherever it's C to F basically. Now the next bit I find really interesting, and this is a really common thing for Bob Dylan to do. We've got this little section where the chords go up diatonically. What do I mean by diatonic? It sounds like a really fancy pants name, doesn't it? Diatonic chords are just the natural chords that come up in any key. So in a key of C, that's C, D, E, F, G, A and B. And each of them has a type of quality. G major, D minor, E minor, F major, G major or G7, A minor, B diminished. So in any key, it always goes major, minor, minor, major, major, minor, and then that weird diminished as a 7th chord. So notice that if you look at the Nashville numbers here, the chords are just rising in number. It's basically going up through the scale like this. So we would have D, E, F, G, but he's doing them as chords. D minor, E minor, F, G, and you feel like this rising tension. He does the G7 at the end is 7th chords, dominant 7th chords. They create even more tension that desperately make you want to go back to the 1 chord. And that's what happens in the chorus. We go back to the 1 chord. And Bob Dylan uses this in so many songs. I could list tons of them. I won't, because I can't remember. I can't remember them all. But Like a Rolling Stone is very famous, diatonic one where he just goes up through the chords. Check it out and see if you can find that. So that would be nice. Joe's just saying second positions for C and F sound nice on the intro. Ooh, nice, Joe. Yeah, so you could do C chord up here maybe. And you could do it here. Nice to pulse. If you want to go at that, another way of doing a C chord is to take a B flat, 2 higher. And then we can also play an F here by borrowing the 5th fret, little finger on the 8th fret of the A string. That's an F because we've taken a C, turned it into a C sharp, D, D sharp, E, F. So that's another option as well. So yeah, Barbara, you read my mind. You read my mind. Absolutely. Yeah, it's a really, really common thing for Bob Dylan to do those rising diatonic chords. And they just sound really ace. You get this feeling of rising tension. So the pre-chorus goes like this. If I come in on close camera. So happy just to see you smile underneath the sky of blue. Okay, so you got D minor, E minor, F, pivot to G7, and then a chorus just 1 to F, 1 to 4 again, C to F. New morning on this new morning on this new morning with you, and you just keep strumming C and F. Sometimes he does 3 lots of those, sometimes he does 4. So just listen out when I start the verse. As soon as I start singing, you'll know we're back into the verse if you're counting along. All right. So that's the verse, pre-chorus and chorus. Then we've got this lovely bridge. It only happens once in a song, but it creates a bit of variety. We go to the flatted 7th chord, just like we did in the Velvet Underground song. It has a bit of bluesiness to it. So normally we'd have a B diminished, but here we've got a B flat instead, which looks like this. So it's like an A moved up. Remember, you can use the bottom part of your finger like that if it feels more comfortable. Notice that my fingers are at an angle. They're not straight like this. When it's straight, can you see how I have to bend my wrist, which is really uncomfortable? When I put them at a diagonal, look at that wrist, it suddenly straightens out. And that's really important in your playing for comfort and safety as well, because if you're always bending like this, you can get kind of carpal tunnel and arthritis. It doesn't help with arthritis and things like that. So a nice kind of diagonal fingers across here will really help with that B flat. Try and get as close to the metal fret as possible, because the area of highest tension is close to the nut. So as close to the metal fret here, and then here as well. And you get that nice B flat. Or you can straighten out like I tend to do with a bar over here. And again, look at that bar. I'm right up against that metal fret. You can't see it because it's almost under my finger. That allows me to use the area of lowest tension. If I come back here, I'll get buzzes. There, it's clean. All right, so that's your B flat, an awkward chord. I know a lot of people hate B flat, but you can do it. You can do it. So we do B flat for 2 measures. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Then an A minor. I like to just use my 3rd finger coming back. That's the 6th chord. Because then I can go back to the B flat on the next one. And then the tension of the G7 down here. Or you could play it in 2nd position up here, where we're taking this F7 shape. But just for now, if you're not sure, just hit this one, all right? And then back to C and F. If you get stuck on that bit, just wait out that B flat and come back in on C and F. So that will sound something like this. Let me just get my lyrics up. 1, 2, 3, 4. The night passed away so quickly. It always does when you're with me. Then we're back to. And it only happens once, that bridge, so don't sweat it too much if you struggle that B flat. You can just do your best with that one. That's it, basically. That's what it's all created from. A lot of Bob Dylan songs have a lot of repetition. It's quite unusual to have so much going on, actually, in a Bob Dylan song with that bridge and everything. So we go verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, then that bridge, verse, pre-chorus, chorus. Then we're going to do an instrumental verse here. That's just a normal verse, but we're going to play it instrumentally. So you can either strum with me, just like you would in the normal verse, or if you want to, you can use your C major pentatonic or A minor pentatonic. C major pentatonic is open C, 2nd fret for D, open E, 3rd fret for G, open A, 3rd fret for C. So that's C, D, E, G, A, C. Now, that's actually the same shape as we were doing up here for G major. And here when we're doing the D major. The reason it looks different is we have open notes, but if I put my finger where the open note would be, it's exactly the same shape, see? So that's your C major. You can also do your A minor pentatonic, which is great because it's open A, the 3rd fret, and then all your dots on your A string. You can literally do any dot on your uke. You can also do dots on the E string, but remember, hit the 8th fret. We can't hit this one here because it's not in the pentatonic. Okay, so that's really cool. You could just use those dots on the A string to do a cool solo and it sound great. In fact, if I just play a backing track, I'll show you. Let me do that. Okay. Here we go. That's just my dots. And then if I want to, I could then involve some of the C major. Some of the E string. So on and so forth. But if in doubt, just hit those dots on the A string and have loads of fun with that. See if you can get a little solo going. I think that'd be a fantastic thing to do. It's one of those songs where if you see it like this, you think, oh my gosh, how am I going to remember this? But apart from the bridge, notice it goes verse, pre-chorus, chorus, verse, pre-chorus, chorus, then the bridge. That's the only different bit. But then verse, pre-chorus, chorus, and then even this bit, instrumental, is verse, pre-chorus, chorus. So that's like ABC, ABC, bridge, ABC, ABC. Same kind of order again and again. You'll soon get an idea. I keep these on screen, lower my camera, and bring my lyrics up, and then let's have loads of fun with this. Let's give it a go. Okay, here we go. So, come in at after 4, intro, instrumental first, remember. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. Can't you hear that rooster crowing? Rabbit running down across the roads, underneath the bridge where the water flowed on through. Then the pre-chorus. So happy just to see you smile underneath the sky of blue. Chorus. On this new morning, on this new morning, on this new morning with you. Another verse. Can't you hear that motor running? solo verse chords. Hit those pentatonic notes. Keep it going. Start to bring the solo to a close. And get ready, here's our pre-chorus. 1, 2, 3, 4. So happy just to be alive, underneath the sky of blue, on this new morning, on this new morning, on this new morning, with you, new morning with you, new morning with you. Well done, everyone. Fantastic. I really love that kind of change that you get between the pulse, where it kind of feels really upbeat and bouncy, and then that kind of that bit where it runs, it just sounds really nice. See if you could perhaps try memorising that one. That would be a really good one to test your Nashville numbers, because you've got that lovely 2, 3, 4, 5, and then you're back to 1 and 4 again, which is really good. Let me know how you got on with that, guys. Did anyone attempt to solo? Did you manage to get those kind of pulsed chords? Let us know how you got on. It's always good to know. And of course, any questions you've got of any of this, do ask away. I'm always here to help. It doesn't even have to be related to tonight's songs. I'm always here to help. That's what I'm here for. So yeah, it's loads of fun. Love it. So this next song's really fascinating. We're going to do one more tonight. We're going to do Paint It Black. Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones. This was your people's choice. So every week on Facebook, Karen will do a poll to ask what song we're going to do next for our people's choice, and she goes back through the Kanikapila vaults to choose a selection. As Shao pointed out, we've done 100 Kanikapilas now, and they're all available to watch back on my website. And Karen will pick some songs that we've done before, and you guys get to vote on it. And whatever gets chosen, it's very, very democratic. We do, basically. And this week, you chose Paint It Black by the Rolling Stones. I don't know why I can never say Paint It Black. It shouldn't be that hard, should it? I keep wanting to say Paint It Back. Anyway. This song's kind of unusual in that it's based on something called the melodic minor scale. Now, again, don't sweat this theory. I'm not going to go into too many details, and I don't want to, melt any brains or anything. It's quite late at night here. Mine's going... but basically, there's only really one type of major scale. You've just got the different pitches of major scale, C, D, E, and all the sharps and flats in between. But there are 3 types of minor scale. We've got the natural minor scale, then we've got the harmonic minor scale, and we've got the melodic minor scale. I won't go into the differences between them two, because it's not too complex, but it takes a fair bit of explaining. So what I'll do, if you're interested in that, check out my uke theory course. I go into a lot of detail on that, and also on the advanced course I talk about it as well. But this one's based on the melodic minor, and a lot of kind of gritty blues songs, minor blues songs use this, and some R&B. It's quite an interesting key to write in. So this is E minor melodic, all right, or E melodic minor is where it comes from. So the 1 chord, rather than being a major chord, is a minor chord. You can almost think of it as, because E minor is the relative minor of G, you can almost think of it like the key of G. It's the same chords. So we've got an F sharp, for example. So we have E, F sharp, G, A, B, C sharp, D, and then we're back to E again. So the E chord is going to be our 1 chord, and it's going to be played as a minor. The 1 chord in any minor key is always a minor chord. That's what we've got there. Notice that most of the verse is still based on a simple transition. Instead of 1-4 like most of the songs we've had tonight, we've got 1-5. Notice how beautifully they go together, because to move from E minor to B flat, we just move all 3 fingers up and just flatten down that index finger. You could even get away with doing not flattening down and playing this, which is a B7, E minor, B7. But if you want to do it like the Rolling Stones, flatten down, then you could be Keith Richards. So that's just your 1-5 progression. 1 for resolution, 5 for tension, and back again. And that's what happens again and again in this one. Now, this is, by the way, this is 1966, this one. This was a single. It was released in the US on the Aftermath album, but it was left off the UK version, so it was just done as a single. And this was back when they had Brian Jones. So it's really kind of exotic sounding because of that melodic minor. And what we're going to do is we're going to do a really kind of, not aggressive, but quite a quick down, 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 up, down, up. Think of it as walk, walk, running, running, walk, walk, running, running, walk, walk, running, running. I'll slow that down. Walk, walk, running, running, walk, walk, running, running, down, 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 up, down, up, down, 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 up, down, about there. Like that, fantastic. Oh, well done, guys, well done. You got the first 2 chords pulse. It's hard, isn't it, when you get to... I find, Rebecca, when I start singing, I find it hard to do the pulsing. I think because my brain is doing more than 2 things at once. Sometimes it just goes and it gives up. So, yeah, don't sweat it. You can always, like you say, practice that slower down and you'll get it. So the verses in this one will look and sound something like this. Walk, walk, running, running, walk, walk, running, running. I see a red door and I want it painted black. No colours anymore, I want them to turn black. Just the 1-5 over and over like that, which is really nice. Now the next bit's tricky. This might take a little bit of practice, okay? So don't worry if you don't get it straight away tonight. It is a little bit tricky, but it sounds really cool when you do it. We go from the 1 chord to the 7 chord. That's quite a common thing to do in minor keys. In minor keys, the chord combinations tend to be different. So we go 1-7 and then 3-7. It's almost like that 7 chords acting as the tension chord. So that's E minor to D. Quite a difficult one to flip between. G you can just drag down like so. And then back up to D. It's quite a quick change because you've got 2 beats of each. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then 2 measures of E minor. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. And then we do it again. 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2. And then we go 4, 5 rising diatonic chords. This you learnt from the last one. A, I like to use my middle 2 fingers because then I can take that up to B like that. A, B. Okay. So if I do that chorus, it will look and sound something like this. 2, 3, 4. I see the girls walk by dressed in their summer clothes. I have to turn my head until my darkness goes. And then back to verse. I see a line of cars and they're all painted black, with flowers and my love both never to come back. Cool, right? Now that's it in terms of chords. We've either got a verse or a chorus, and you can solo over the verses if you'd like to. Now, if you want to take an instrumental in the solo, you could even do it when I'm singing if you're interested. You can play notes from the E melodic minor, because we're in the E melodic minor. This gives us loads of notes. Karen's done a fantastic chord diagram here. Thanks again, Barbara and Karen, for all your work on the sheets, and Indrani of your wonderful photos. And we're all sending our love to Esther as well. She'll be back before we know it, hopefully. She's doing really well. So thanks for all your help, guys. So we're going to go from 4th fret up to the 6th fret, 7th, 5th, 7th, 4th, 6th and 7th. The nice thing I think with this scale is notice that the notes on the C string and the A string are on the same frets. You've just got to remember on the E string to do your dots. Okay? So we've got... The reason it's called the melodic minor is we've added this note, which is almost quite a major sounding one, because it resolves nicely to that E. Don't sweat the theory too much, but it's just interesting. Now, interestingly, it's cool, isn't it, Charlene? Yeah, we're gonna. Karen came up with the idea. She's redoing the scales reference sheets to make them even neater, because these look cool, don't they, with the roots in red and everything. So yeah, really nice. Thanks for your work, Karen. So, the nice thing about this is the melody that they sing. I see a red door and I want it painted black. Is actually just the start of that scale and back down again. I'll show you what I mean. I'm going to start from E. Okay, so it goes E, F sharp, G. That's 4, 6, 7 to 5 on the E string. And then it just comes back down again. Okay, have a listen. I see a red door and I... Here it dips to a D sharp. It's still in the melodic minor. We're just doing this low one rather than up here. Want it painted black. So, I'll do that again. See how it's just going up and down the melodic minor? Up, back, down, and back again. So if you want, you could actually do that as the riff over the top. It sounds really cool. Let me see if I can get my backing track and I'll give you an example. It'll be a bit faster than that, obviously. Let me come on close camera and you'll see it. Here we go. Whoops. Oh, I mucked up. Let me do it again. Isn't that neat? And it kind of illustrates as well that even when you're doing vocal melodies, they quite often come from the key and the scale, and that's what Mick Jaggs is doing here. He's literally singing the E melodic minor up and then back down again. Doesn't go all the way to the top, but yeah, interesting. You can also, of course, use that to just free solo. So if you don't want to do that riff, you could just play any of those notes and they'll sound cool. Again, just let me, it won't take a sec, I'll just show you. So on and so forth. I don't often solo in the melodic minor, so I'm not doing a great job of that, but hopefully you get the idea. You can hit any of those dots and have loads of fun, which would be great. Thanks, Karen. Thank you. So let's give this a go. Now, in terms of the structure, we're going to go verse, chorus, verse, chorus, verse, chorus. Pretty much the same thing all the way. Anytime we've got an instrumental, like down the bottom there, that's just going to be the chords to the verse. All right. And then we've got another verse, chorus, instrumental. That's the chords to the verse again. And then the outro, I think, if I remember rightly, the outro is just the verse over and over. All right, so verse, chorus, instrumental verse, chorus, instrumental, and then outro verse. You'll get the idea. If you're in doubt, just hit E minor to be in. You'll be fine. There's a lot of that in this song. Let's have loads of fun then. And just before I do this, I will stay around at the end for a few minutes, just in case there's any questions and to just say goodbye and everything. So any questions, let me know. But I just want to say massive thank you for joining me tonight. I've loved it, as I always do. Monday nights are an absolute highlight of the week for me. And it wouldn't be the same without you guys. You guys adding all your comments and likes and everything. It's what makes it magical for me and makes it so much fun. So thank you for being here and thank you for your support, guys. All right, let's go for it. Last song of the evening. Let's give it our best. Let me just bring up my lyrics so I can see what on earth I'm singing. There we go. Here we go. Let's do the verse just once as an instrumental. Then we'll do it properly. 1, 2, 3, 4. See a red door and I want it painted black. No colours anymore, I want them to turn black. I see the girls walk by dressed in their summer clothes. I have to turn my head until my darkness goes. I see a line of cars and they're all painted black, with flowers and my love both never to come back. Chorus. I've seen people turn their heads and quickly look away, like a newborn baby, it just happens every day. I look inside myself and see my heart is black. I see my red door and I must have it painted black. Maybe then I'll fade away and not have to face the facts. It's not easy facing up when your whole world is black. Try the riff. Strum with me. Back in with the verse. No more will my green seagull turn a deeper blue. I could not foresee this thing happening to you. Chorus. If I look hard enough into the setting sun, my love will laugh at me before the morning comes. I see a red door and I want it painted black. No colours anymore, I want them to turn black. I see the girls walk by dressed in their summer clothes. I have to turn my head until my darkness goes. Instrumental. And our outro verse. Wanna see it painted, painted black. Black as the night, black as the coal. Wanna see the sun blotted out from the sky. Wanna see it painted, 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 painted black. I wanna see it painted black. Well done, everyone. I'll tell you what, because of all those bar chords and the changes, I don't know about you guys, my hands were aching by the end of that. If you ever get that, it's really important to stretch them out. whenever we do exercises, we always kind of stretch, don't we, and make sure our fingers are comfortable. But how often do we do that when we play ukulele? We should probably do it more often. So one of my favourite things is to tense my hands right up. You know, like a James Bond villain. Really tense them up as you push them in. Then I like to get them into a ball as tight as I can, and then really reach out. You can see the red. Can you see the red in my hands? It's really interesting because this is a great way to warm up as well. If you're ever cold and you're playing ukulele outside or at an event or something, or if you're just in a cold hall, it's amazing how doing this, look at that, straight away you can see all the red in my hands. It gets the blood moving to your fingers and it warms them up, which is a fantastic thing to do. The only one I don't recommend is this thing where people crack their knuckles, because that's often not very good for your hands. So I tend to do just squeezing and stretching. And of course you can always do your exercises on your ukulele as well, hitting one fret at a time. But do warm down if you can. It's quite important. I always forget to say that. So yeah, it will do, absolutely. Yeah, it will do. Yeah, Harry, it's dead right. If you haven't made this year's cruise, you've got another opportunity next year, and it's gonna be wonderful. I cannot wait. It's gonna be fantastic. Yeah, good workout for the fingers. Exactly, Steve. Exactly that. That's it. Shell's just got a point. Let's have a look. I'll just bring you up here so I can see it. Could you play E minor as 2, 4, 3, 2? So you just keep the bar between E minor and B. Let me have a look at that. So if you did 2, 4, 3. That one doesn't quite work because you get this A note up here. But Shell, what you could do is if you do a bar chord like this, it's a bit of a squish, like a D minor shape that's moved up. You could do that. And then like that. Or like this. That's quite a cool E minor where you cover this note up here, which is a B, and there's a B note in an E minor because it's normally played down there. Brother Is, whenever he played his E minors, always did a 4-finger one like this, because if you've got a low G, it stops the open low G booming out, which is really nice. And again, you can do it like that. So just something to experiment with. It's a good point, Shell. Sometimes it's really good to experiment. Sometimes these chords sound really nice elsewhere, which is a cool thing to do as well. So yeah, absolutely. That's another way of doing it. Fantastic. Well, thanks for joining me again, guys. I absolutely love that, as always. We're back to every Monday now until I go away for the cruise, which is right at the end of February. We're just going to play pretty much right on through now. So join me every Monday, 6 o'clock for Kanikapila. Do have a look at the Beatles course. There's a few on there now, and I'll be adding more as we go. And check out the chord melody version of Yesterday, which is really nice. And don't forget to join me this Wednesday, if you can, 22nd of January 2025. I don't know why I say the year, it's obviously going to be this year, but you get the idea. 3:30, this Wednesday at 3:30, and we're looking at a brilliant song, an old time, or kind of bluegrassy song, I guess, Redhead Boy. It's an old fiddle tune. I think it actually comes from a Scotch-Irish tradition, so it goes back way before bluegrass and old time, thinking about it. Don't forget, if you can, like the video on the YouTube channel. It just helps the algorithm to pick me up. If anyone wants to send me any virtual tips, it's paypal.me/Ukeroom. And if you haven't already, go and join the site. There's so much on there, 10 courses, many of them with hour-long tutorials and as many as 30 tutorials in a course. So hundreds and hundreds of hours of learning on there, worth checking out. Plus hundreds of arrangements, and as Shell pointed out, 100 Kanikapilas all in the vaults there, which you can go back and watch anytime as well, which is really fantastic. Thanks, guys. Really, really much appreciated. Couldn't do it without you lot. So, yeah. Fantastic. Oh, I know, Beach. Yeah, it's hard. Beach is just saying it's hard not to be a magpie with all your material in the courses. It is. There's so much up there. I know, but I kind of want to have as much stuff so you can do it for as long as you want and really, really get into it. But yeah, be disciplined with yourself. Stick to one course if you can at a time, and then you'll really get that kind of sequential progression, which is brilliant. Thanks, Lisa. See you soon in the Caribbean. So yeah, absolutely. Yeah, I did a kind of live lesson on structuring your learning at one point. It's worth seeing if you can find it. It'll be in the fortnightly lessons archive. And one of the things that I mentioned is really kind of try and structure your learning. So try not to hop about too much. Pick one of the courses and work through it sequentially, particularly if you're on the first 3 courses, because I've designed those in a very specific way to help you go through. There's like 30 beginners 1, 25 intermediate, and then 20, I think, next step. So it really, really helps if you follow them in order. Thanks, Barbara. Thanks, Barbara, Karen, Indrani, and Esther for all your help with everything, as always, as well. Really, really appreciate it. Me too, Lisa. Me too. And the kids. They're getting crazy excited. I had to write the letter to their teachers today to tell them they're not going to be in school, though. That was a bit scary. It's all good. All good, though. So if I don't see you this Wednesday, I'll see you next Monday for another fun Kanikapila session. I'm really looking forward to it, guys. Don't forget to check out that Spanish retreat. And as Harry says, it won't be long till there'll be an announcement on the cruise for next year as well. So really exciting stuff. Take care, everyone. Much love, and I will see you soon.